Hey guys, this is Heather at Homeschool Culture. In today's video, I am going to discuss our first week of homeschool for the 2023-2024 school year. If you saw the title, you know that this is what worked and what didn't. And I'm going to do the what didn't towards the end. So first, we're going to focus on what worked, the good things. So let's go ahead and begin with that. Okay, the very first thing I want to talk about is the traditions. So every school year, we do different little traditions that just kind of make, coming to the new school year fun, exciting, and just kind of, gets us motivated. A lot of it is more planning on my end that gets me motivated, if I'm being honest. And definitely my little guy. I mean, he loves it. My teenager, they're kind of to the point where like, are we doing this again? But I think she enjoyed it as well. And so one of the things we did is I always set up here, and I'm going to put pictures as I go. So they first wake up and there's goodies on the table. I've done it on their desk before. We've done it on the table. And so, if you see here, I put grade levels so they know, whose is who. And it's just little things. Some things I got from the Dollar Tree, some things I got from Amazon. And it's just fun little stuff that they are going to get to use to kind of brighten up their school year. So I used to actually lay out all their curriculum, and then I realized that really is just for peace of mind and all of that. It's kind of overwhelming. So I prefer to have all of the curriculum organized instead of showing them all of their curriculum up front. And then I take them little by little to do that. And I'll talk about that here in a second more. So the next tradition we do is we take obviously a picture for the school year. So I just made this on Canva, nothing spectacular. My ink is running low, so the colors are kind of funky, but that's okay, it still worked. And then next we have a really good breakfast. So sometimes in the past we have gone out to eat for breakfast. This year we made breakfast here. My daughter helped me some. We made scrambled eggs with avocado toast, which is one of their favorite meals. Even though we like donuts in my house, don't get me wrong, I really wanted a nutritious breakfast for their first day this year, so I decided to go that route. Next year, we'll probably do donuts. I'm just keeping it real. We like our donuts. But anyways, let's moving on. And so then we started our school day with, of course, prayer. And we started our school day with, and really and truly for the most part, we did a variation of morning basket. So you can see here, I started out with our Bible, and we did the family Bible trivia as well. I am loving that devotional that we did, and maybe I'll do a video on that because that devotional is great. It has definitely grounded me and brought me back to what is important. Because sometimes when we're going through this, first days of homeschool, the hype and all of that, we need to remember what is most important, and that is that relationship with the Lord, and then obviously a relationship with our kiddos as well. And I'll talk more about that towards the end. Okay, so moving on. We had errands first day of school. I had decided I'm either gonna postpone it and wait a week or go ahead and start. But I knew I wanted a soft start. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to just make the most of it and make it work for us. And so we went to town and we went to eat at Chick-fil-A, which is one of their favorites just to go eat at. They were like, can we have peach shakes? Of course you can have a peach shake, it's in season. And then we went to the library. My daughter, not so much as, thrilled with the libraries as much these days, but my son loves going to the library. And then we were able to go and get some cookies at the bakery. Yes, I've already sugared them up enough with the peach shake, but fun cookies from our bakery is always a must, so we went and got those. So then when we came back, we ate our cookies, and I wanted to continue doing, more morning basket type stuff. And so part of my daughter's curriculum is reading through a poetry book, and so part of morning basket I decided is going to be her reading that every day, so she read that for us. And then of course we had to pull out a game, and they love this new game, and so we were playing this. And so those are kind of the traditions. We just kind of left it at that. It wasn't much more than, a couple of good meals, morning basket, some games. Oh, I forgot, read alouds. We did read aloud. So we're in the Land of Stories book right now, book 2. And so that was another thing. We did, as we were going back and forth to town, we did that read aloud. And then we listened to it during breakfast. And I want to say we listened to it later on that night too, because it's a great series if you haven't read it. It might not be for everybody, so just maybe do your own research on that. But we really enjoy the series, and it's definitely a favorite in our house. And so again, we had great breakfast and lunch, Bible time, read alouds, first day of pictures, the goodies on the desk, and that kind of wrapped it up for our first day. So the next point I want to make is whenever you're starting out, and you might go, well, that wasn't very much, and it wasn't, but I wanted a soft start. I needed a soft start for me. I had these grand plans of showing you our whole day on video. I had all this B-roll. I'll show you that right here. I woke up early the first day, of course, and got ready. And it didn't quite pan out the way I thought it would, but that's okay. But the soft start is such a necessity because our brains have to get back in that routine. And so especially if you're someone that takes off a substantial amount of time from one school year to the next. So like we took off a month this year. And so our brains definitely needed to get back to school mode. And so day 2, we kind of did the same thing. We woke up, we had a good breakfast. I'm looking over here at my morning basket stuff. We did our morning basket, and then we started getting into some of the core stuff. My daughter has 2 online classes, Algebra 2 and Biology. And then she also has a new literature program that she's never seen before. And she has pretty much everything besides math and science was new. She has a new Spanish, a new civics, like government program. And so I wanted to make sure that instead of just, throwing it all at her at one time, that we could break it up and she could really dive into, what's it entail? What am I going to have to do to be successful? And so we took our time doing that yesterday and today. So yesterday she looked at Algebra 2 and Spanish, because those were both, the Spanish was new online. And then also we looked at her literature curriculum and how that's all in a flow. And then today she's looking at her biology class online. And what else? Oh, civics, because civics is new to us. We're using master books, and it's something that is new to us in terms of, just her doing it by herself and not like doing it with us or whatever. Like reading, like before we would read, I would read like the master books, American Story to the whole, to both kiddos. This is something that she's doing on her own. So that's the kind of soft start. Now, so we started on a Tuesday and we're pretty much going to be done today. She might do a few things tomorrow. I'm going to let her decide that. And then next week, just because it just got planned the way it got planned, Wednesday, we have a dentist appointment, which is out of town. Like our dentist is about an hour away. And then also we have Friday, my husband might be taking my 10-year-old to Hurricane Harbor for part of his birthday. And so I was like, you know what? This is going to be the perfect soft start. I'm going to take these 2 weeks and I'm going to do a week's worth of work and I'm going to spread it over 2 weeks. And we're just going to gently go into it. So for my younger kiddo who is in 4th grade, the first day, again, I already told you, all we did was morning basket. We played games and we did read alouds. Yesterday, we did our coral reef unit. We started that, which he loves. And he has just dove headfirst into, my child who never liked to color has dove headfirst into the Dover coloring books. I printed it off thinking he wanted to maybe do watercolors, but he was like, I think I just want to use matte pencils. And he has just taken his time and it's just been beautifully done. And so he even woke up early this morning to do that. And I was thrilled. I was thrilled for that. He has been working on that diligently. And what else did we do? We did some math review. We're going into multiplications this year. So we did some multiplication songs, which we've done in the past, but we're just kind of reintroducing those, gently again. And that was it. And then today we're going to work on some history. And then we talked about some things that I expect from him as well, like on the daily, like he's going to write his name in cursive daily. And he's going to print the day of the week, starting with the actual day, like Wednesday, et cetera, et cetera. And because I really think that hones in those spelling for the days of the week and the months. And so just little things like that I told him, these are things that you're going to do every day. We have a new chore chart as well, because, I have to throw that in. We kind of had chore charts over the month, but I literally just threw that in this week. And so we're talking about just that and marking off and making sure we get things done, because I really think it's imperative for him to take ownership of stuff and start marking things off himself. And so Now, on the soft start, I've never done this before. I did what we call reverse planning, right? You've maybe heard other people talk about it. I know the eclectic homeschoolers talked about it in the past. And it's not something that I do all the time, but it's worked perfectly for this week. And so what I did is I went in and I started or what did we do today? And I put it in. And that was for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then I was able to go ahead and do Thursday and Friday. But I'm glad I did that as well, because if being the over planner that I am, I would have gone in and just over planned our whole week, and it wouldn't have been a soft start as much as I wanted it to be. And I know that about myself. So I'm very thankful that I did not do their mark off sheets created and planned out. I kind of went with the flow. So again, instead of scheduling everything, you have a roundabout idea, right? I know what's in my morning basket card. I know I'm going to get to those things. I know I want to do this, but instead of just bombarding with so much stuff, just do gentle soft start. And I really think that has helped our first couple of days be successful. Another thing is easing into morning basket. So if you watched any of my videos on what I want to accomplish this year, so what is my goal for this year, it is really focusing on morning basket again, because I just appreciate the fact that our family is learning together. I want that culture. I want to continue building that culture of learning, and what better way than doing it as a family together. And so morning basket is a priority for me this year. But again, instead of just going in and trying to do all these things with morning basket this week, I focused on Bible, read alouds, and games. And that is it. And that is all we're going to do this week, and maybe even next week. And then I will maybe a little bit at a time add new stuff. For instance, I've been wanting to get my geography unit done, and I just have not had time to do it. And I honestly think it was, maybe a God thing, because I didn't need to. Because if I did, then I would have had all of that ready to go too. And it wouldn't have been a soft start. Another thing that is really making our days work, and this is across the board, every day, all day, is prayer. You have to go to the Lord in prayer and ask for help, right? You have to ask Him to fill you up with the Holy Spirit, to fill your homeschool day up, to fill your children up. And I think my fail, the reason what didn't work, and I'll talk about that in a second, was because I didn't go to the Lord first. I wasn't seeking Him first. I was seeking, what's going to be Instagram worthy pictures? Just going to be honest with you. Or Facebook or whatever, And so what didn't work? What didn't work was me not going to God first in prayer. What didn't work was putting expectations on how great this day is going to be. Again, picture worthy for Instagram, and it not turning out that way, and me getting frustrated early in the morning on the first day of school when we should have been, enjoying it and loving it. And there was a moment that Mama wasn't being very nice, and I had to check myself real quick. Luckily, the Lord convicts. Ask for conviction. That's another thing. Ask the Lord to convict you, and convict you quickly, and then listen. And so I was able to turn a bad situation into a better day quickly. And I was able to be a good, what's the word I'm looking for? Example to my kiddo, who I had to apologize for not being very nice. And I had to apologize to the Lord for not putting what's the most important first, which is which is most important is Him, and finding joy and putting Him first. And I don't want to go into it too much because I actually want to do a video on it, but I love that God puts things in your path at the right time. And the devotional that we're doing, the family devotional that we're doing, is just literally it's what we need. It is what I need as a mom. It's what my kids need right now to hear. And it is such a blessing. And I'm going to do a video on that. So if you are new to me, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I'm going to go over in detail some of the morning basket items that I'm using. I kind of just showed you quick, but I really like when people show me more detail and go into more detail about it. So my plan is to do that as well. So you will know if it's something that fits your family. So one more thing I wanted to talk about real quick was, so another thing I think is really important about doing a soft start is you're not going to get necessarily everything planned out perfect that first go round, and you're going to want time. And so the first day I woke up at 5 o'clock, and it was, go and get ready and do all this, and I was fine. I mean, it was no big deal. But by the end of the first day, I was exhausted. I think I was exhausted, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all of that. And so I slept hard the next day. My plan the next day was to get up at 5 o'clock, to get going again. Well, what ended up happening was I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was praying, Lord, just help me go back to sleep. I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. And so my alarm went off. I do remember snoozing it twice, hitting snooze twice, but then I turned it off, and then I slept till almost 8 o'clock. And so obviously my body was tired and exhausted. And so just make sure as you're going through this whole planning process and this whole time, just get your good sleep and it's okay if you, sleep until 8 o'clock. Like, our day still rolled well. We went with it. It's definitely not something I want to do every day. I don't want to, wake up 2 or 3 hours past the time I planned, but I needed it. I needed that sleep. And it was probably because I was not getting it the couple of weeks beforehand because I was such in planning mode. And so if you're anything like me, my brain doesn't turn off. Like, it just goes and goes and goes. And so, and then I usually crash like I did. So, but that's okay. I get worked out. It wasn't a big deal. Another just kind of tip, if you want to call it that, is for soft start is if don't stress out if you wake up a little bit later or, you take nap. The first day we did school, my daughter was like, I really need a nap. Then, and she took a nap, and it was what she needed. But that is it. I didn't want this to be a long video. Again, what worked was some of the traditions that we have done in the past, and just keeping true to those. And even though it took me a hot minute, remembering it doesn't have to be this glamorous thing. It can just be fun. Just enjoy it with your family. Bring the Lord into it. Of course, pray about it. And then also soft start. Soft start is so, in my opinion, is so imperative. I gotta say, my high schooler was really wanting to, can we please just not do all this other stuff? I'm ready to move on, because she's ready. I mean, she's in that mindset where she's ready to get school going. She's looking towards the future and things like that, which is a great thing. But I had to tell her, no, we're doing this. We're gonna enjoy it. And I'm also going to do a video coming out because I really feel convicted. I've already changed a few things in her curriculum, which I'll talk about that sooner than later. And then I'm also being convicted even more so about it, but I'm stepping back and I'm praying about it, and I will let y'all know what those things are. And it really partially was based on a comment she made to me the first day of school. And it wasn't ugly or anything like that. It was just kind of a comment in passing. And it just kind of made me, huh. And I really feel like God's convicted me to change some things regarding her, not what she's doing, we're still doing it, but how we're doing it. So I will definitely have a video out on that soon as well. So on that, please let me know, what traditions are you doing with your family? And let me know down below. Are you a mama that, sometimes it just isn't what we think it's going to be, but that's okay. And do you go to the Lord in prayer and ask for help? Because we definitely need it. I would love that encouragement in this community down below. Please share that, yes, I have to go to the Lord and pray. And again, what a great example it is to our children to seek Him and to show that we can't do it by ourselves and that we need Him for help all the time. So I hope you have a super blessed year, and I hope you have a super blessed day. And I hope you enjoyed this video. On that note, I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.